Hi everybody, welcome back to Daily Endeavours for the first day of June. Before I get into the Endeavours, timestamps will be in the description if you just want to skip all the other stuff, just get to one that you're stuck on. But it's a new month, there's new stuff to talk about with just like what's coming up, well, I guess the lack thereof, I suppose. So, new month, the daily rewards have changed. There's just like a minor adornment. I think that's the only unique thing here. There's 5 of the best XP scrolls that you can get. Unfortunately, these won't be around for the double XP that's on now, so it's a bit of a waste maybe, but yeah, it's fun. It's a lot of scrolls at least. 15 all like instant or research scrolls. It's pretty good too, especially for jewelry crafting because sometimes they can be a pain to get. So yeah, 15 days. These have no cooldown. That's the main thing. So you can use all 15 at once, or you can use a couple over the course of like a few days, or whatever you want to do. So yeah, these can be handy. The only thing is obviously these are useless to you if you already have all the traits unlocked, so I usually just delete them myself. But yeah, these can be very handy if you're trying to get traits sorted, because man, traits can take ages. It's like 30 days for the last ones, and it's like multiple times you got to do 30 days. It's pretty rough. Yeah, so that can help. Everything else is just generic shit. Got some gold materials, some luminous ink here and there, some poisons, some consumable potions stuff. A little bit of Tel Var, you can spend that on Hokkaido or one of the Imperial City monster helms, whatever you want to do. So that can be good too. Yeah, just generic stuff for the rest of it. Yeah, like I said, only the earrings are the unique thing. As for Skills of Endeavour, according to the June Survival Guide, the Crown Store update, there are no crown crates coming out this month. So that's kind of disappointing. So yeah, the only thing that's going to change is these two. On, I think it's June 8th, it turns into the Azure Blight Wild Hunt stuff, and Spriggan, which just means it's just going to be a horse and it's going to be blue instead of red. That's the only difference. And the Spriggan's just going to be blue instead of red. So that's the only difference. As far as the rest of it goes, there's no like limited ones that are going to come out. You're just going to have the Mardi Gras shit for what is the whole month, I imagine. Maybe next month there'll be more stuff, but yeah, that's kind of disappointing, I think. Yeah, that's all I know of that's like worth talking about. Obviously, the XP event's still on for a couple of days. So, alright, so Endeavours. We've got picking locks, deconstructing woodworking items, killing vampires, earning Tel Var, and 10 active skill styles. So what I would do, you can come to Skywatch and do all 3 of these 3 here pretty quick, and without getting a bounty, because you want to steal some woodworking items. But if you're Nightblade, you can do this really well. If not, what I would do instead is do the skill styles, locks, and then instead of doing this in Skywatch, just port to Imperial City and just grab a couple of woodworking items there. I'll show you what I would do. Vampires is pretty easy. Tel Var Stones, I just think everything else is easier, but this isn't terrible either. It's just that players can sometimes get in the way. I know some people like to do this, but I think these ones are easier and just more reliable. But yeah, I'll talk about that one at the end. Alright, so firstly, skills with active skill styles. The easiest way to get one of these is through Gold Road, one of the expansions that came out recently. This gives you some of the base skill styles. The easiest one to get is through the second area of scribing, which is the first initial quest for scribing. You get Soul Trap Orchid Purple. The only issue here is you can't really use this in Skywatch because there's no enemies nearby. You can use it on a guard or a civilian, but you'll get a bounty, so it's probably not great. What I suggest you do is, if you haven't done it yet, complete the Wing of the Netch. That gives you Soothing Blue Vigor, and this you can use without needing a target. So you can just recolor Vigor, just make it Vigor but blue, and just go and literally just cast the skill over and over. That's all you got to do. And so I would do that. Now, if you don't have Gold Road, there's a couple of options. Most of the skill styles in this game are going to require some sort of paid, like they're pay gated in some way. There's a few exceptions. One of those is if you type into the Endeavour store, or I guess the Crown store too, with the Crown gems, you type in skill, and in Epic Rewards, Legendary Rewards has them too, but they're more expensive, and they're both, one's an ultimate, one requires is a destruction staff ability. Vigor, which is, again, really easy to get. It's 2,000 seals, and it gives you Vigor Verdant Green, which is basically the same thing. It's just blue instead of... it's just green instead of blue. So this works too. You've got the Whirlwind one as well. but this requires you to level up Dual a little bit, so maybe not everyone's got access to that. So yeah, 2,000 seals, I know that's a little bit, but basically it's like I said the other day, you speculate to accumulate. You're using some, I know it's obviously not that drastic, but you're spending 2,000 seals to be able to do this endeavor easily from that point on, unless you've already got Gold Road. The only other option I would use is if you go to the Undaunted vendors, so just Majel Regath in the Undaunted Enclave here. It's the Red Guard lady with she's got like a turban on, I think. She sells a bunch of skill styles that are not DLC related, but they require keys. It's 20 keys by minimum, so it's pretty rough. But there's a couple of those, and then there's like a couple of 40 key ones. One of the 40 key ones is a Restoration Staff, like purple version or blue version of Regeneration. That's really easy to use because with Restoration Staff, Regeneration you get literally from level 4, so it's super duper easy to get to. You just literally run around for a bit and with a Restoration Staff and kill a few enemies and like visit a few places and you'll get it. You've also got there's Carve and there's Momentum for two-handed, but one of the quickest you can get as well for 20 keys is Twin Slashes, but that just requires a target. Again, it's not great for this. Yeah, if you can go find something to attack a bunch of times with this, like you could go to a guild hall instead. So do the picklocks here, and then go to a guild hall, rending slash a bunch of like times on a target skeleton, and then go to Imperial City and do the woodworking one. A couple of things you can do. Okay, picking locks. So that's why we're here in Skywatch. So the quickest way to get here is to use Matisse and Manor through home tours, or you can use Barbed Hook Private In Room. This one here as well. So just go to home tours. You can go recommended, but browse homes usually is a little bit better, I find. So Barbed Hook Private Room. Go here, travel to that, and when you go out the front door, it'll take you to this inn here, and you just go up, get this way shine, and then you've got the space forever. So come to these doors here, just make sure you stealth, because there's always a guard that comes up and patrols some of these doors. As soon as they turn around, you're fine to pick the lock from that point on. So just do that. Now just make sure you don't force the lock, because forcing the lock does not count as picking the lock for this endeavor. So these two houses will have guards sometimes come through, and if they get too close to be able to do this without getting spotted, even with I think even with full medium armor and that passive to increase or reduce your detection radius, but this one here is totally fine. Like just go stealth and then you're fine. There's no guards that come up to this one. But yeah, with the other two, just if you see them coming, or if the little hidden icon at the bottom there turns into like half open, like a half open eye, just maybe hop out of the picking lock menu. Because yeah, here's an example. So you might be doing it here, and he'll come close, and then he'll spot you, and you'll get a bounty if you're still picking the lock. So what I would say is just wait for it to go hidden. Just wait a second, just in case it bugs out and makes you go spotted again. And yeah, as soon as they're turned around, they'll walk away, and they won't turn back around to spot you. So from this point, you're all good to go. So yeah, he'll walk away, and you're good. But sometimes there's multiple guards. I think only one goes to the area at a time though, so usually you're fine. So just pick those three locks, and that's all you have to do here. You can go to public dungeons and do the same thing, and it will get away from the risk of not getting a bounty, but this is way quicker. And unlike public dungeons where chests can sometimes be like not there, the doors will always be locked. All three of these doors will always be locked, so you can always use them anytime you come here. Okay, so for woodworking item deconstruction, if you have a Nightblade with Cloak, I would suggest you use this area here in Skywatch. Now, if you don't have a Nightblade with Cloak, I urge you to make one. Getting Cloak, just like Restoration, just like Regeneration and like the dual wield ability I was talking about with skill styles, you only need to get to level 4 in Shadow, which does not take long. It's like killing a few enemies basically, and you get the skill line, as long as you've got Blur unlocked and on your bar. Does not take long at all. So I highly suggest getting one of these and just getting Cloak, because at that point, what Cloak does is when you cast it, you can take shit right in front of people and they can't see you. Like, look at me. I'm right in front of this guy. Like, if you talk to them, it takes out a Cloak, just be aware. But yeah, I can just take this stuff literally from right in front of him and he doesn't care. So just take all these woodworking items here, and they can all be deconstructed for the endeavor. Now there's more shields and stuff over here. They count as woodworking items. if all that isn't enough, like if you get really unlucky, there's some staves here. I think there's some more stuff over here. The woodworking station is here. So if you need to deconstruct the stuff, the woodworking station's right there. Yeah, there's more shields over here. See what I mean? There's just tons of stuff that you can deconstruct. And as soon as you deconstruct it as well, all the items, the materials that you get from them are not stolen. So I guess it's a kind of a way of fencing it. Now, if you don't have a Nightblade, and you still want to do this without getting a Nightblade, totally cool, just be level 10 and go to Imperial City, enter the campaign. Just accept it when it comes up. Now what you're looking for is a bunch of items to deconstruct in the same way. So you'll have shields, staves, and bows everywhere. So here's a shield, here's a stave, so you can take those, oh, sorry, a bow, and these aren't stolen, so even if you're not stealth, nobody will give a shit. So you can take those. There's a couple of items in here, I believe. Yeah, over here. So there's a shield over here, and I believe that's it. I don't think there's any... I think sometimes there's a shield on the floor. So the weapon racks in the first room, when you get in... Is that a safe box? Oh no, just gleam on the light there. Yeah, some bows here you can take. Sometimes there's a couple of staves around here too. There's one there, so Inferno Staff. Take that stuff. Come into this room here. There is a shield on the floor over here. And then in this room, you also got tons of stuff. So these desks here, one of these benches, I suppose. There's a shield here. There's a bow here. There's a bow there. A couple of shields here you can take. And then over here, there's some staves, there's some bows. Tons of stuff that you can take, some shields there. Now, this is the Old Merry side. If you're in a different alliance, the area will look different, but they all have enough stuff to deconstruct 8 items at a time. It's just that the way that containers work in this game, all the weapons like on the floor, so count as containers, sometimes they spawn, sometimes they don't. So what you do if you don't find enough stuff, just leave and come back, and everything will it'll reset the area, and some things will spawn again, some things won't. I think Ebonheart Pact is the only one where I struggle to find 8 items sometimes, but Daggerfall and Old Merry Dominion, there's so many black woodworking items that you can get. It's just so good. Now, I'll just talk here about 150 Tel Var, but I think Vampires is better. But just because I'm here, I might as well talk about this. So the only reason I would ever do this, because in order to get Tel Var, you need to kill stuff. You need to kill Dremora, or you need to kill other players if you're brave enough, or if you've experienced PvP enough, because players give you a lot of Tel Var if you kill them sometimes. Depends on how good the player is, though, usually how much you'll get. But what you can do is, what I like to do is I like to be a super duper absolute coward, and what I'll do is I'll sit at the top of a tower, one of these spawn areas, and I'll have tons and tons of Tel Var in my inventory. So what you do is you get 10,000 Tel Var, and what this will do at the bottom right, you see how it increased my Tel Var multiplier? It takes it up to 4, so you get 4 times as much Tel Var from a single enemy, so it makes it a lot quicker. But what happens is, if you die, you'll lose half of that Tel Var, and that's not great. So the only way I suggest doing this, to make it really quick, is to go to one of these areas here, these districts, and stay on the tower, don't go down. And even if you're on the tower, just be careful for gankers, because if a bow ganker sees you, especially a character like this with fucking 20k health, they will immediately try and kill you, because it's very easy to kill players that have 20,000 HP. But yeah, I'll just give you an example here. I'll just kill this dude quick, because I can. And there you go, so 20 Tel Var from that enemy alone. So it's pretty quick to do, if you can go that route. Now obviously if you don't have any Tel Var, it's safe to just go down there and kill enemies, but it will take a while, and if you see a player, they'll kill you and you have to respawn and just have to go somewhere else. And getting back can be a pain in the ass if you don't know how to do it. Yeah, I don't... Sorry, I forgot to talk about the districts. Each district that your alliance owns also gives you an extra 33%. So if you come here as Daggerfall, for example, you'll get almost 2 times extra. So it's 5.6 times extra Tel Var from a single enemy. If you find a tougher enemy, like a I'm trying to see if the Zivkin is here. I can't see any. But if you find the tier 1 enemies, the dangerous foes, like the Zivkin and the Bone Colossus, stuff like that, they will give you way more Tel Var. Yeah, these guys here. If you can kill the Bone Colossus, they give you like 100 Tel Var if you've got all the multipliers on. So you can pretty much get this done instantly if you kill one of those. But as I said before, it's quite risky to do that if you die. But yeah, you can go down there and they give you a little bit of Tel Var, but nowhere near as much from just doing this. So yeah, personally I would skip this one just because the other options are less risky. But I can't deny that you can get this one ridiculously quickly. I just prefer not to go out and get killed by players. Maybe it's a pride thing. I don't know. Yeah, try that one if you want. But if you are going to do that, just make sure, try your best to like get like food that increases your health or something. Anything to make you as able to survive as much as possible. And when you want to leave, just head to the exit here, and that will take you out to where you were before. So we'll just rock up again in Skyreach. Skywatch. So the most common vampire enemy type that you'll find in this game is probably going to be Blood Fiends. They have this look to them, just like vampires. These things here, Spell Fiends, these are the same. So you can use these and they count as vampires because they share the same, like, I don't know, like enemy type model. They're just like recolored, basically. So I'll go through all the places I like to use for this. So Rivenspire is probably one of the most common places you'll find them. In Mora's Hope, you'll find vampires and blood fiends. In Crest Shade, you'll find tons of blood fiends. To the east of Camp Temrith Wayshrine, or just Camp Temrith in general, you'll find a bunch of vampires over here. And in like regular places in like inside North Point, you'll find some vampires. In these places here, you'll find vampires. I don't think over here, actually. I think they're aliens. But yeah, in most of those places there, you'll find a lot of Montclair vampires. Cold Harbor is another great option with the Orchid. This place has a lot of vampires. The Black Forge is also another great one for vampires because in the first room there's a ton of them. And this I find to be a place that isn't really used much because if you're trying to use all the other places and they're just like there's too many players killing everything, you can go to Black Forge and have a look there. I find there's less players there than there are other places. That being said, Cold Harbor might be a pain in the ass to get to at first. What I would do is use home tours and get to Cold Harbor through real estate, and that way you can get here without needing to go through the main quest, which is the original way you used to get here, and it used to take ages. The place I prefer, though, Blood Fiends, they're called Spell Fiends, like I said before. In Elenir, you find them in like small quantities in a couple of areas, but Spellscar is where you'll find tons of these things. There are heaps of them here. And yeah, there's like just big clumps of them. They respawn pretty quick because everyone comes through and kills everything over there pretty quick. Because this is like the XP grinding area that most people go to. So it is very busy, but usually stuff spawns so quick, and there's just so many, just in abundance that you'll just be able to get this done really quick. So this is the Spell Fiends that you'll find there. So all these guys here. So if you want to, yeah, that thing I think stuns you, so you don't want to get hit by that. The only thing is the Spell Fiends in Elenir and in Craglorn are quite tough. They're quite tanky. And there you go, so kill them, and that'll count as vampires. Now, if you want to get to Cold Harbor easily, what I would do is use Elenir Private Arena, this one here, use that in home tours, and do the same thing. So that'll take you near Elenir, and it'll also get you close to Craglorn's main city, Belkarth. And then you can just travel a little bit northwest, and there's a pair of wayshrines you can get here to get to Spellscar easily for any of the areas there that you want to use. Yeah, anything other than that, I think is just complicating matters too much. There is a couple of DLC dungeons. They are... let me find them. So Dungeon Finder... Moongrave Fane. This one here has Hollowfang vampires. I believe they count. And then... yeah, Castle Thorn, this one here. This one also has quite a few vampires at the start. The only thing is, trying to do these on your own is not the easiest thing in the world. They're quite tough. You can handle it on like a good damage dealer who's a bit tanky, but One, like, yeah, they're not the easiest things to do, and two, they are DLC things, so not everyone's going to have access to these. They're pay gated again. So, yeah. Any questions about any of the stuff? As always, just let me know. But yeah, that's Daily Sun. So thanks everyone for watching. Thanks for your support as always. I will see you all next time, and enjoy your weekend, or what's left of it, I suppose.